and welcome to the UK Skype call Under Control. I'm here with Peter and Pearce, and I greet you all, and Peter will take it away, as long as he brings it back afterwards.
Hello everybody, once again. Right, but 3 dreams actually, 2 of them quite erotic, so ladies may need to cover their ears. First one quite topical. I saw Boris Johnson, no less, in a room. He was in a room with this very sexy woman appeared in a long dress with a very low back line, revealing pretty well everything she'd got, and sidled up to him, and they went out in the room. Then the scene changed and they were in another place opening a door. When it opened, there was another woman with another man who was Boris's double, except for his hair, which was black, shortish and straggly looking. Then the scene changed yet again, and they were all seated at a table in a large restaurant full of people, seemingly ignoring the stares of the other people there. That was really the end of the dream. I spoke to Kevin about this afterwards, and he felt that the woman was most likely the influence, trying to tempt Boris away from his course. There was a suggestion also that Boris himself could be a clone or a shapeshifter imposter, or was about to be replaced by one. That's our thoughts on it. On one of Kevin's, what do I would like to add to that, please?
Yeah, okay, it's very simple. Again, you're seeing what the politicians are doing. Yes, and so was he having a good time, Peter?
Well, I'm not saying you'd notice. He just seemed to be there. He didn't seem actually doing anything very much. It was just accompanying.
Well, he was there and he was agreeing. So you've got, when you go from room to room, it's different positions, seen and unseen. So those are, then he goes out into the public. So there's the unseen position. Then there's the seen ones where he appears in the public. So again, the influence is always there. If he wasn't resistant, he's being agreeable. So, what the news tells you is one thing. That's all planned. What he's really doing is you're seeing, and from what you're saying, he's in agreement. So no matter what he says or portrays to try to be the good guy or whatever, again, he's in the scene there. You're seeing what's going on. So it's a little hint to you.
Right, okay, thanks for that. Second dream, I'll find it. Oh yeah, right, there's a street scene, and I was standing out in the street, and in front of me I was aware of what looked like a fairly small piece of aeroplane wreckage, and I was aware of other pieces of plane wreckage round about. I didn't actually look and see them, but I felt they were around in the street. Anyway, the scene changed, and I seemed to be yet again in an office building, looking out of what we would call the second floor, I think you would call it the third floor window. I was leaning out the window, so looking down in the street, and suddenly aware that my wallet had dropped out of my inside jacket pocket and fell out the window, landing down on the lump of debris I'd been looking at earlier in the street. Panicking in case somebody walked off with my wallet, I raced out and down 2 flights of stairs, actually jumping from the top of the stairs right down to the bottom without even touching the steps. It was quite exciting. But when I got afterwards speed, it was a bit of a case of more haste, less speed, because when I got to the front door of the building, it wouldn't open. I couldn't get out in the street. And that was about the end of that. I thought about this, that there was the sort of plane wreckage suggested that when it was wreckage, it had been some sort of disaster, and this could symbolise the impending world disaster with all this crap going on about this supposed bug. And the office itself, I've spent so much time in offices, both in this level and in the real side, it seems, that's probably like a house may symbolise my personal self. And although I was trying to make a speedy exit from the physical, I was stuck at the point of exit, perhaps by a perceived need for money, hence the wallet. Talking to Kevin, he said that there's probably the real self going down the stairs, but blocking the exit, so the personal self was kept from re-entering creation. So that's us again. If Dwayne would like to add his thoughts, please.
Yep. Basically something like that. There's many views. So the plane wreckage, you're seeing that somebody crashed, okay? And so, yeah, it can be the system or an individual. And the identification, that's your personal identification. So as you go along, in other words, I would say this is a hint to you. And that is that when you're ready to go, you leave that personal identification there, but the dream is giving you the experience of that, okay, you're running back to try and get your ID. In other words, it's giving you the hint that, this is like a little wake-up call that, are you sure you want to do that? You see, are you sure you want to run back? So here's your hint. I've seen experiences like this before. And, I'll use Chris Courage as an example, to where when I first met him within the first year, he was shown already the party's over. And at some point after about 6 years, he threw in the towel. So I see that part of it as a hint to you, because again, the driver's license, your ID, whatever it is, that's something manufactured here in the physical. So, it's very subtle. So if at any time from anything, it can be a disaster, a vaccine, or natural death that you pass over, you always make the choice. And this is where people, they still hang on to their personal self, their personal life, you might say. It's not just necessarily you, but everything else that's tied to it. You see? And again, we have this example of these two gals that were working with me on the Galaxy project, etc., and they step back. So we'll get more into that later. But yeah, these are little hints. So that's one side of it also. There's many sides. Go ahead.
Right, okay, thanks for that. Third dream. Right, I was driving in the street, obviously, with somebody at my side, and I don't know who it was in the car, but we drove into a railroad station, sort of driving down towards the car park, and then the scene changed, and I was out of the car by now, and down a sort of hole in the road, down below street level of some sort, in some kind of a storage place under the road. There seemed to be lots of loose papers, like invoices and receipts, all scattered about all over the place, and I was sort of trying to pick them up and get them into some sort of order, and sort of with a view to taking them away. Then the scene changed again, and this time I was in bed. It must have been quite a big bed, because I was aware that I was laying on my left side, facing left, and I was aware that somebody was to my right, probably Gwen actually, in the bed, asleep. But looking to the left, there's the door opened, and this beautiful naked woman came in about 30s or 40s, and came over to the bed and pulled back the cover with a view to getting in. But unfortunately, when she did that, there were even more invoices and receipts and rubbish in the bed, and she took exception to that, I think, and turned around and walked off, which was a bit disappointing. And I think that was about it, actually. Well, I was just thinking about this afterwards. I guess that probably the woman was perhaps the influence again. But looking at her to the left does sort of, I gather, mean looking backwards. And the railway station sort of suggests travelling and moving on, so it seems like a bit of a conflicted situation, really. Maybe a bit indecision on my part or something. And really, I'm being advised I need to get myself sorted out and get going. I didn't get a chance to talk to Kevin about this one, so that's just my thoughts on it on this occasion.
Yeah, again, it's your personal situation, and yes, the The influence is always there, and looking to the left, that's the past. So, and it's okay, because the past is a reference. So, as you're having these experiences, and again, what are receipts? These are things that you've purchased, all right, so that you own. You have these things, whatever it is, your car, your groceries, whatever. You have all these receipts that you carry, and these are ideas also, aren't they? So, and the influence is always trying to attach itself to those ideas. That's how it comes through. So it's just like a little mouse in your house is looking for an opening. If not, you're going to make one until you figure it out. So again, it's the new presentation is all about becoming more aware. That's the reality of it. Not becoming spiritual, not becoming a better person. It's not about love and all these things. Those are things that people decide in their personal life. It's about becoming more aware. And as you become more aware, again, like you've always done, you decide your choices with this personal self. It's very interesting how it is every moment. You decide your choices, and that's really how it's always been, where, the idea has come about, it's kind of evolved to where that, okay, if you become religious or spiritual or something, that, you are to have a better lifestyle, get a better job, make more money, and all these other things like that. But actually, that's the come on of the political system. So I'm kind of weaving this in here a little bit, but those are the things that you've purchased. Those are the things that you decide how you relate to them. We deal with this world, and yes, the influence is always trying to get in. And yes, there's always that part of us, and I have it with my personal self too, that looks at the past and looks at certain things, etc. And it's how you decide to relate to those things, and compare it with the is itself to better recognize it. That's always your choice. It's amazing the experience we're in here in creation, and so a lot to do with the personal self. So that's one view. Yes, thank you, Peter, for sharing.
Okay, thanks very much. I'd better leave it there now and hand you back to our Master of Ceremonies. Thanks very much, everybody.
Okay, and Pearce, would you like to proceed?
Hey, yeah, Kevin. I ain't got nothing to share really apart from one. And it was just, I just seen I'm pretty sure it was daytime. It was like in the afternoon, and I had a quick New Viewing, and I looked up and I just seen these two eagles. I'm sure it was eagles, but I've never seen an eagle, flying in the air. Maybe they were massive. These two big birds, really massive, just flying around each other in a circle. And I looked away for a second, and then I looked back, and it was gone. It wasn't there again. And then about 2 days later, I looked up. I was out in my garden again. I looked up, and one of the eagles was there, but it was really, really high. And I just thought, we do have big birds around here. I've seen the big buzzards, but these was bigger, and it was higher. It was just, and I just thought, yeah, that's the guides. That's the guides checking in, because the way they was there, and then they won. And then that's it. That's all I've got to share. I think they was just checking in on me. I'm just having a look. And that's all I've got to share this week. Thanks, Kevin.